Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2. Last time we pretty much finished with Creature Creator, save for the final cup. This time I would like to actually, I don't need to be in there, what am I doing? This time, or well, in between last time and this time, I have been extremely busy and getting very little sleep trying to do all this crap after work. Anyway, what I have done is I've gone into the first 5 or so pages of the, whatever it was there, the battle simulator. And I have started oversouling most of the enemies that I can possibly oversoul. As you can see, I have done a lot of oversouling. As a reminder, anyone in pink letters there, or red letters, or whatever they're supposed to be, have been oversold. You only need to view them oversold in order to get credit for them. This took quite a while to do. I have not finished all of them. There are definitely some left to do. Most of the remaining ones are accessible within the Via Infinito, which is where we're headed to relatively shortly. So I just wanted to show you how many I've done oversoul. I've probably had about, I don't know, 10 hours worth of dicking around on this game in between parts here. So yeah, lots of stuff that I needed to do here. So the battle simulator, I don't have access to all the different ones. In order to unlock some of these, you need to have released new enemies that I haven't released yet, and I don't plan on releasing. But all of the enemies should be available in Via Infinito. And like I said, we are going to head there next. All right, so I have a list of other things I want to demonstrate here. So that's what we've done there. As far as capturing enemies, I did go and capture 3 more enemies. And I do want to take a look at them here. I guess they'll be in here. So yeah, the Machina Leader, the Machina Hunter, and the Machina Ranger. All of them have access to Impale. And they're some would consider them to be some of the best creatures in the game, because when properly set up, they can be extremely fast. They'll use almost nothing but Impale, and Impale, I think, ignores defense and does huge amounts of damage. And they're just really, really abusive to use once you have them set up properly. I don't have them set up properly yet, but that's fine. At the end of the last episode, we also showed getting Shinra back. And he is also one of the best creatures in the game if you level him up to max and get him properly set up. So Chocobo we still have, Cacto we still have, Heavy Soleil we still have. I still have Brother for some reason. Just haven't got around to getting rid of him. But anyway, so we've done that. I'm probably not going to do a lot of showing off of the Machina enemies. I just wanted to mention that they are there. In order to get them, you're going to need the species items there, and I don't have any left. But in order to get one of them, it's only in Mihen High Road after unlocking the optional dungeon. Another one is in the Thunder Plains after unlocking one of the optional dungeons there, the one where we found Sid. And the final one is in Beaconell, and I don't think it matters if you've unlocked the Cactuar Hollow for that one. I think you just need to have done that one, or just try and use a species pod there in order to get it. So anyway, I've done that in between parts here. Now, there's one more thing that we want to do before we get out of Creature Creator and we actually get into doing some things. Now, I've got my characters set up, and I'll go over that setup after. But Megatonberry has the last remaining blue bullet spell in the game. Let's see if we can get that. He only uses it when he's oversouled. When he oversouls, he has 51,030 HP. And let's see here. You need to go up there. You need to mix me up a potion. And where is it? And a Chocobo Wing. And now that we've done that, unfortunately, everyone has, what's that thing called? Ow. That kind of didn't hurt. So you're there. Hurry up. Where are you? There we go. And now get you over there.
We're getting desperate.
So, the idea here is, we all have Adamantite on, which is why we're still alive. So, let's see here. Let's get everyone set up here to do lots of damage to this guy. Now, we want to lower him down to a certain amount of his HP. I think it's under 20% in order for him to use what I want him to use. And he only uses it when he's oversold. So what I've done is I've set up my characters so that I'll guarantee do 9,999. And hopefully the gate that I pass through with the Cactuar there doesn't... I don't think it breaks damage limit. Hopefully not, because otherwise that would screw up my plan. But I want to hit him 4 times with this, assuming... Okay, that didn't break damage. Perfect. So, 1 more, and 1 more. And then we're going to all switch to gun mages so that we can learn this. In the meantime... Hey, look, I got lots of Mega Elixirs.
Sayonara.
I will show you how to get those once we're done here. But I was able to get it while I was working on getting everything all set up. Oh, well, I don't really want you to do that. But that's fine. Alright, so hurry up and hit 1 more time. Hurry up and hit 1 more time. And then everyone needs to switch over here. Let's go back to you. So we'll get 1 more hit in. That should bring him below 20% of his maximum HP. And now I need Pain to get a turn. Go over here. And unfortunately, we're going to be rather weak in this state, which is why I used the ability I used. I think he's... Yeah, there we go. Cry in the Night, the last blue bullet spell that we can learn in the game. Now the thing is I don't want to kill this guy. So let's get the hell out of here. If I was to kill him, I would have broken the Oversoul thing there, and I would have had to kill like 20 more Tonberries for whatever reason. So anyway, abilities. Let's go check it out. Yeah, we've learned them all. We've mastered the Gun Mage. Perfect. That's wanted to make sure I got that done, and now we've done that. So now everyone's going to switch back over to Mascot there. I had Kaiser Knuckles and Adamantite for defense, and then Kaiser Knuckles to make sure we did max damage. You had the Ragnarok. Actually, I had you set up with the Supreme Light so that you could use Auto Life in case I needed it, but looks like I didn't, so that's good. Alright, so let's go back down to Last Resort, because, well, that's just damn well great. And I'll muck around with my settings. I just want to get everyone in that. There we go. Now, if you want to get Mega Elixirs, let's see here. Where are we? No, I don't think so. You're around here somewhere. I know you are. There we go. The Earthworm. When bribing him, he will give a number of Mega Elixirs. Rarely he will give up to 20. Usually it's only around 5 or so. I was able to bribe him a few times before I got him to Oversoul. And as soon as he Oversouls, you just want to run away. You don't want to do any more. But I was able to bribe him and get a few of them, which is more than I'll need for the rest of the game. So that's great. So we got that out of the way. Learned that. And let's see here. As far as the battle simulator goes, there are some enemies that you can't oversoul, but for the most part, just keep fighting the enemies until they oversoul. Certain enemies won't be able to. Let's see here. Let's see. I think most of these guys oversoul. When you go into a battle, say like this one with 3 different elemental types, you go into the battle and one will randomly be selected to oversoul. So you'll have to run away a whole bunch of times in order to make sure they all oversoul on you or fight a different battle formation. This guy here, the snake guy, he doesn't oversoul, so you don't have to worry about that. Over here, the Machina doesn't, and the machine type doesn't oversoul. The only type of machine that oversouls are the defender types. So you don't have to worry about that. Let's see. So you don't have to worry about any of the Machina. These guys, you don't have to worry about them. Who else? Grim Gaze, we do have to Oversoul him. I was thinking of a different enemy. Let's see. Do we have one of those that I can show off? So no Machina. Let's see here. I don't think... Yeah, so you want to Oversoul that guy. Those guys can Oversoul. Mega Tonberry, I would fight the Tonberries in Via Infinito. You're better off there. And I also got the Shady Duo to Oversoul, as well as this guy. You can get the Fiend types, or what are they? I think Fiend types, or whatever the Creeper, Hexapod, Vermin types, that's what they are. So I got them to Oversoul. You can Oversoul. The Chocobos can't, but the other enemies paired with them can. So yeah, I got those all to Oversoul. I got the Anything Eater to Oversoul. You can fight the Cactuars here and make them Oversoul, but they don't count because they're technically different. So you'll have to fight a different Cactuar in Via Infinito, or if you want to go back to the dungeon in V Canal, you could probably do it there too. This was the guy I was looking for. The Haunt type enemies, or the ghost dudes there, they don't Oversoul. This guy here, he doesn't Oversoul, so don't worry about him. There's a great list on the Creature Creator walkthrough on GameFAQs, so check that out if you have any questions about it. The Jumbo Cactuar, I believe here counts, but the regular Cactuars do not, and none of the people can Oversoul, so don't worry about that. Pretty much none of these guys Oversoul, so don't worry about any of these types of enemies over here. This guy does, and I made him Oversoul. So there's that. If you want to grind out, and what I did as I was fighting these small groups in order to get things all set up, is I equipped everybody with the AP eggs, which I didn't demonstrate farming, but I will at least talk about how to get them. I've got 4 of them now. So if you go to, I have the wrong walkthrough open for this. You go to the Fiend World Cup, the tournament, and you beat this, and as you can see, I've beaten it 16 times now. After you get the Gold Hairpin, the Soul of Thamasa, and the Adamantite, you have a random chance, and the walkthrough is not very clear on this, but you have a random chance of getting any of those items or an AP egg. I think it's a 25% chance across the board of which one you're going to get, so it's random. Unfortunately, what it says in the table on that same walkthrough I was talking about is it says randomly get items 2 to 4, so the Gold Hairpin, the Soul of Thamasa, or the Adamantite, plus an AP egg. It should say or an AP egg, because it makes it seem like, oh, you're going to get an AP egg every time. Not true. So just to clear up any confusion there. So there's that. So I got the AP eggs, I equipped them on everybody, and I put them in their Moogle dress spheres there, their mascot ones, and I learned pretty much everything. Except for Ribbon. That's the only thing I didn't learn, and the one remaining thing, if you want to quickly grind them out, you go into the battle simulator. I would suspect it works similar with all of the other ones, but Shiva's at the top here, so fight Shiva. Shiva's really easy. I don't have AP eggs on right now, so I won't get anything, but the base amount of AP you can get from Shiva is 15 times 3, and everyone will get times 3 because they'll all have them equipped, and you get 45 per battle. If you use the Covenant of Growth garment grid and switch, you'll get double as well. Now, triple and triple, say using the Intrepid garment grid, will not stack, but triple and double do stack for a total of 6 times the original amount. So 15 times 6 is, what's that? 30... I can't do math. Anyway, I'm not even going to try because my math is not so great. But anyway, it's a lot. You max out at 99 AP for battle, but still, that's a lot of AP, and you can easily learn all the different abilities that you need to on Mascot. And I decided that fighting her a few additional times was worthwhile because in my case, I'm not going to be doing a lot of fighting inside Via Infinito. As you can see, I've gained some levels. I think I've gained about 10 levels since the previous episode. And we've maxed out our HP. I don't need to have Adamantite and all these other things, but I will get everything set up in order to go to Via Infinito and finish up all that stuff. there is one other thing that I think I should do before we move on. Let's head to the Comlands. Okay, I just made my way all the way over to one of these guys. It doesn't matter which one you go to, just pick any one of them, and if you have enough money, if you'll notice from the footage from before, I had a whole whack ton of money. I no longer have a whole whack ton of money. I've only got about $1 million, but I had almost $3 million before. You can buy credits. So if you buy enough credits, you can get 200,000 credits, and then you can trade in your credits. And then we can get one of the remaining garment grids. The Flash of Steel garment grid. I don't really care for it, but I figure if I'm able to, if I have the money kind of stashed away in order to get it, then at least I can demonstrate it. If you are going to do a New Game Plus of trying to get all of the different garment grids, then you're going to want to, on your second playthrough, you're going to want to change some of the things that you did on your first playthrough. On your first playthrough, obviously, following this, you would have given the sphere to New Yevon, the awesome sphere. So you'll want to give it to, we give it to the Youth League, so we're going to want to give it to New Yevon next time. And then the other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to work on a different company when it comes to the PR mission. Choose the other company, then you can get the other garment grid that's available there. All right. So there's one more thing I need to show off before we get into Via Infinito proper, and that's down here. If you're trying to oversoul all of the available enemies in the game, you're going to need to come down here. If you haven't already done this, you will have to do it before you can, well, you can do it at any time really, but go down here, and if you remember, we fought a number of enemies when we were here before. Most importantly for this, there are 2 enemies down here that you cannot fight in Creature Creator and you cannot fight in Via Infinito. Those are the bosses available at these different towers. So here you fought one that was the Precepts Guard, I believe. He's a former boss. And then over here on this platform, we fought the Geo underwater guy from Final Fantasy X, the one that chased off Titus at the start of the game. So yeah, you have to oversoul both of those guys by repeatedly fighting the battles. In my case, I think I only had to fight them once or twice, so that worked out quite well for me. But anyway, so we've done that, fought all the enemies that I was talking about inside the inside Creature Creator's battle simulator thing there, and this is faster than the other method of trying to go back there. So now, with that being said, I went back to Via Infinito before the episode began, and I went and I redid a number of floors. Let me turn those off now. So let's continue from the deepest cloister I've reached here. I would like to show this off. So the deepest one I've reached, again, is 20. I've made my way back here, oversouling all of the different enemies on the way. So let's get out of here. And I want to demonstrate something for those of you who aren't aware of this, and I wasn't aware of this either. Start over from Cloister 0. Once you've reached what is known as a greater cloister, which is every 20 levels, you have access over here. And I did not know about this. I was actually reading around and finally figured this out. But if you go over here, you can proceed to any of the great cloisters you visited, so up to 20. In my case, if you haven't made it to 20 yet, you can't use this at all. But anyway, this gets us back to Via Infinito, to the highest greater cloister that we've reached, and now we can move on with the rest of the area. Now, I've listed, well, in the notes in front of me, I've listed there are a few enemies that I have left to oversoul. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be leaving encounters on, and then I'm just going to be running away from every enemy we encounter, which is one of the big reasons why I decided to basically farm all of the different AP that I needed, because in order to get the oversoul of the enemy in Shinra's Bestiary, you only need to see him oversoul. You don't need to defeat him or anything like that. So it's really straightforward that way. So yeah, I went and I redid the first 20 floors to show, or to get all of the other enemies that were only available there. This guy cannot Oversoul. So basically, I have my triple AP on for this guy, for any enemies like this, and I'm just gonna come and I'm gonna beat the crap out of them, get triple the AP.
That's it?
And hopefully by the time we get to the end of this, I will have learned Ribbon with the remaining enemies that I have to fight in here. Most of them I will be ignoring because I want to keep the Oversoul going for the next variant of that same type of enemy. Here is the next one I need, number 99. So we don't want to kill him. He's Oversouled. Now we can just run away. Now he will count toward our list, and he's been Oversouled. So that means I no longer have any more enemies that I need to run into on floors 21 through 23. The way they do it is, at least with the earlier floors, it'll be like 1 to 3 will give you an encounter set, and then 4 to 6 will give you an encounter set, and then 7 to 9 will give you an encounter set. Later on it changes, like at, I think, starting at like 40, I think you get from like 41 to 43, or no wait, sorry, it changes at level 50. At level 50, you'll encounter the same enemies from floor level 51 through 59, and then it switches again, and then I think it's like 61 to 65, and then 66 to 69, or something like that anyway. Anyway, the one other enemy that we are going to have to fight, I have to fight this guy to unlock him, but this also gives me the Oversoul on Tonberry. This is why I ran away from Mega Tonberry earlier. Unfortunately, I do have to kill him in order to progress with the area, but I'll still get the Oversoul for seeing him, because it doesn't matter if you kill him or not. As long as you see him, you'll get it. And yes, I should probably go over how I have my characters set up now. They just have AP eggs and champion belts. Don't even need to go into the menu. They all have the same thing. They're all in the last garment grid there. So once we've run into all the enemies we need to on this set of floors, I can turn the encounters off, and we don't need to run into any more of them. So we can just go through and take a look at the different things of these. Took too long. So yeah, you still want to avoid them. I've already oversold him inside Creature Creator, so there's that. You don't have to fight them as a normal encounter around here until later. I think there may be some paths later on in the game that have a second one of those on the same floor, but for now I don't think that's a problem. And again, as I did with the from before, I'm just going to show the basic process of me running through here. A lot of it is going to be, you know, a little bit of trial and error, because I don't remember all of... I don't think this leads to anywhere, does it? No, okay. Because I don't remember all the different puzzles off the top of my head, but there is a nice walkthrough on GameFAQs. It's the Via Infinito walkthrough, so it's there in case you are interested in there. If I remember correctly, I need to fight you. And this will unlock the way forward. So yeah, we'll just have to keep fighting some of the Tonberries over and over again, but I've already got the Oversouled one, so we're good as far as that goes. He has a lot more HP when he Oversouls. But yeah, that kicks out that platform, and now all we have to do is backtrack, and we can just get on out of here. Move on to the next floor. So we got 25 here. I should have already turned encounters back on, but there is one enemy I need to encounter on these sets of floors. This one. If I remember correctly, on this one, you have to run up here and touch all of these platforms on all three sides, and then another thing will open. This is the guy I wanted to run into, Sandworm. This is different from the other one that we were able to encounter, I think, inside the inside Creature Creator. I think that was a landworm, and that was the one that I got the Megalix from. So screen flash, so I've done something right. So now we're going to go over here. That's the... Oh, you don't have to fight that Tonberry. I just oopsed. That and the changing camera angle didn't change or change the direction that I was moving or something like that. So that was fun. Anyway, more AP. I'm going to need it anyway. So then we'll jump up on this one. And then we'll go over to the other side. You can hit this if you want for, of course, your free healing. I've actually seen walkthroughs recommend the Heady Perfume, which gives you, I think, HP and MP scroll. But they'll recommend it for this area. You have free healing on every single floor. You don't need that. In fact, you never need it. Hello. I'm going to wait a moment here. So we're on 26, so I don't need to encounter anybody. But yeah, hopefully we'll run into all of the different variations of the floor because they're randomly generated. Like if I went and saved, like I think over here. No. Okay, so it's not over there. There was one of those blue things somewhere around line. If I hit that and came out and then came back in, the design would probably change. So you can skip by certain obstacles if you're confused on how it works. This one we've already seen before. If you fight the Tonberry, it'll warp you all the way over here. But I'm going to turn off encounters because I need to fight, wow, 3 different enemies on these sets of floors here. But yeah, like if I was to warp out of here, it would change. Sure, we'll get out of here and we'll go back and I'll show you that the floor will actually change. Well, at least it should. So we'll go continue from the deepest one reached. Luckily, the game is nice enough to auto-select that one as your option. But yeah, as you can see, completely different floor layout this time. We've already seen this one, so it's not like it's anything new, but we'll go fight you. All right. More easy guys. Pretty much at this point, our levels are such and we have such good equipment that very few enemies are going to be able to stand up to us at this point. There are some bosses that can prove a challenge yet, including all the game's super bosses, but anything storyline related is basically ridiculously easy at this point, so just kind of be aware of that. So we're on 28. I have up to 29 in order to find the enemies I'm looking for. If I don't find them by then I will be going off screen and just running into enemies over and over and over again. Alright, I don't think I need either of these two. Let's see. No, I don't need either of those two. But I've already got them to Oversoul, so that's fine. We'll just run away from those guys. I'm looking for a Zoo, a Drowsy Ochu, and a Shell Shocker. So yeah, just go over here. We've already seen this one, but I think this is probably the best way of trying to demonstrate it, because if I was to show only like the new floors, then it would be really difficult to kind of figure out which would be a new floor, because a lot of them look so much the same. And as long as I'm not, you know, fighting too many battles along the way where it gets confusing, which for the most part I won't be. I'll only be trying to fight a couple of battles and running away from everything else. Then, yeah, so we're on 29, so I need to sit on this floor and farm the encounters that I need. Machina you can kill because they're not oversoulable. Remember, you'll get more AP if you use your abilities if you want to, but that's fine. In fact, I should probably go over those abilities. Let's get all the way over here to where the next floor is. And yeah, we'll go over the different abilities that I have access to on everybody now, even though I've kind of talked about them already. Life Jug revives everybody, gives everybody full HP and MP. That's quite nice. There's, I would consider, a better option, and that is a different mix command, which is not on that page. Where is it? I know I have it around here somewhere. It's called Fantasy Phoenix. It requires a Phoenix down and an X potion, and what it does is it restores everyone to max HP and MP regardless of whether they were dead or not. If they are dead, it revives them and does that. But this one will only, I think, heal those that it revives. It doesn't heal everybody else. So there's that. Regen gives haste and regen, which quite nice. The way haste works in this game is different than the way it works in most other games. It doesn't increase the ATB bar at all. at least from my understanding of it, what it does is it speeds up the action, so your attack animations will go faster, so you'll start your next turn faster, and that's kind of how it works. So it's only good in situations. It's not like generally like really abusive like it was in Final Fantasy X. So let's see, I think everyone's pretty close here. Yeah, everyone's pretty close to finishing off that. So anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to turn on this, and I'm going to try and find the remaining enemies that I'm looking for, which are not these guys, but that's fine. I will just show the ones that I needed to Oversoul there, and then we will move on. Okay, here's another one, the Zoo. It's one of the ones I didn't have access to personally inside Creature Creator. It may be different for you. It all depends on how much work you've done with releasing creatures. Okay, and here is the Drowsy Ochu. When he decides over, oh, there we go. And the one remaining guy that you're going to find around here is the Shell Shocker. Unfortunately, I haven't really had a chance to fight any of the variants of him, so I'm going to have to fight a few of them in order to get him to Oversoul. If I haven't gone over it, the way that you create Oversouls in the game is by fighting enemies of a certain family. So, like the different dogs. All the different dogs are a type of family.
Here comes the hurt.
And this is the Shell Shocker here. I've already fought him a couple of times, but I have not got him to Oversoul yet. So we haven't run into any of him yet. In order to get him to Oversoul, depending on the type of enemy it is, it requires a different amount. Like, say, an Arachnid is a spider-type enemy, requires only killing 8 of them in order to get the Oversoul. An armored enemy, like, say, an Ironside, requires killing 18 of them to get somebody to Oversoul. So, it all depends on who it is. And I've already seen you. In this guy's case, you only have to fight 7 of them in order to see him Oversoul, but I would highly recommend running away because there is definitely another one of these guys to come in the areas beyond. Some of the other ones that I have been continuing to run from, there may or may not be ones later on the line. I'm just trying to make it easier this way so that I don't have to re-farm enemies. While I was trying to farm those guys, I did manage to learn all of the different abilities that I needed to for the mascots and master them. So we all have Ribbon now. Guards against all status ailments, quote unquote. I don't think it protects you against instant death, and there's maybe 1 or 2 others it doesn't protect you against. But for some reason, every time I find a walkthrough, they'll either list which ones this protects you against, or they'll just say it protects you against everything. And something like Super Ribbon or the Fiend's Ailment Defense in Creature Creator, they'll just say it protects against all of them without listing the specific ones that are in addition to what the basic ribbon covers. So I have no idea which ones, other than Instant Death, which is the only one I recognize, that is actually different. So anyway, that aside, let us get up to level 40 here before we call her a day. Here we have Ironside, the only guy I need to run into on floors 30 through 32. So there's that. Cross those all off my list. Yeah, the big giant guy decides he's going to cast Reflect when he Oversouls. Some people are weird. So we don't need to run into any more of these guys. Not on these floors anyway. So we'll just continue here, show off the different paths that they happen to give me this time. Because it's random, there's going to be a lot of repeats, and there's not too many different varieties of paths to begin with. The further you go in, the more varieties you get, and there are some where having additional information about them, like how to bypass Megaton berries, which do appear in here, would be beneficial. Alright, we need to find 2 more enemies on 2 different floor sets before we call it a day here. So let's finish off with the few enemies that we have left to encounter. They won't be until the next set of floors, though, I don't think, anyway. Yeah, I'm looking for 33, so next one. Ah, see this one, you start kind of already here. And I think that goes backwards? Now, if I remember correctly, yeah, there's an Elder Drake there. You don't want to go after the Elder Drake. In fact, if I remember correctly without looking it up, I believe you just go this way hits a platform. There it is. And you can bypass the Elder Drake completely. As far as I know, I don't think you ever have to fight an Elder Drake either. I've said that you don't have to fight the Megatonberries, and you don't, but I don't think you have to fight these guys either. So there we go. We've made it there. So, is that a Megatonberry or is that a normal Tonberry? I'm not even sure why you're there. What are you guarding? I have not completely explored all these floors, to be quite honest, just because it hasn't really been, you know, anything of interest. You spend more than enough time here as it is that you don't really have any reason to spend any additional time working on it. Alright. I don't need any of these guys. In fact, I only think, yeah, 2 of them are going to Oversoul, but the Flying Imp guy, for some reason, doesn't Oversoul in this game. He was one of the main types of creatures you would continually run into in Final Fantasy X, but here, they don't Oversoul. Yeah, you don't need to fight the Tonberry, we just need to activate all these. Yeah, for whatever reason, that actually gets rid of the Tonberry. I'm not sure why. But we'll activate all these, and then we can move on. Now, where's my turtle? I want some turtle soup. That's the guy I'm looking for. We were able to find one of them in Creature Creator with the monsters that I already have, but there's one additional one that I haven't seen. Though I think I could run into him just outside if I really wanted to, like maybe in the Calmlands or something. I can't remember where he's encounterable. Most of the enemies here you could have encountered either at different points in the game in different chapters, or you could have also gotten them, or you can still get them now with the enemies that you can run into. But it's just easier since we have to do this anyway, as opposed to going back to areas we've already been to. Some of the areas will look like earlier versions, and then, you know, at the start they'll be like that, and then they'll change. So yeah, one of these guys will be able to Oversoul. That guy, the floating, I think they were called ruminants before, but now they're just like a non-type and they can't Oversoul. In fact, they gave the ruminant name to something else. I'm trying to remember which type they gave it to. Yeah, they call those 4-legged horned enemies ruminants for some reason. Seems kind of weird to me, but... Would you hurry up and give me my Adamantoise already? I would like to show him off. And I don't even remember what floor I'm on. That was a fast battle. And still no help. Unfortunate as it is. Alright. Hopefully that doesn't take me to the next floor out of that range. 35 is the last one I can run into that. Yeah, if you kill that Tonberry, you'll warp to the other end of this, if you're interested in doing that. Not that that really matters, but... I'm going to have to farm the stupid Adamantoise because I haven't run into him yet. Oh well. Let's do it. And there he is, only a few battles. I like that. Adamantoise, watch you Oversoul, and we can move on. Do note that if you run into the battle and it doesn't look like he's going to Oversoul like right away, then you'll want to be careful because sometimes it takes them a few seconds to actually Oversoul. I believe they have to get their turn before they're able to. So here we're on 36. I think this is another one of those Elder Drake ones, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So go over here. We'll hit the thing. Go. Get our platform set up, and there is... Actually, I can turn that off now because there is an enemy that I need to encounter. Hoping it's one I've already got set up to Oversoul. There aren't very many left that I haven't already set up for it, but this one in particular... you're accessible in the Creature Creator, so I didn't need to, was able to Oversoul you there. Some of the enemies that I was Oversouling, I was killing with the Congrats ability, which is how I got so much gil in between episodes. Mid-flight battle. That's the remaining guy that I'm looking for. And unfortunately, he's not set up to Oversoul, is he? Nope. What kind of enemy was he, anyway? I have no idea. Well, I'm probably going to have to try and get him to be set up off screen, but no biggie. Alright, so we got a few more floors. I think he's available till floor 39, which is correct. More enemies we've already seen before. These guys can both Oversoul, but I already did that in Creature Creator. And since we've already gone through the first 20 floors, I just cut, you know, showing you guys that again, just to Oversoul all the enemies. That, and there were a whole whack ton of enemies in the first 20 floors that I had to, you know, physically go out and kill a whole bunch of them because I hadn't set that family up to be Oversouled yet. Like we're still on some of the more basic ones. Typically, floors 1 to 50 are going to be filled with regular Tonberries on the map, and floors 50 and up will be filled with Mega Tonberries on the map. That's not like a 100% thing, but it's you'll see a lot more of the Mega Tonberries on the second half of the area as opposed to the first half. So we got 38. Another one of these. You'll see how much they repeat, and it does get tedious. I realize that, but it's either me show everything off or just randomly cut, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 floors out all at once. And either I would show one set. Oops. Either I would like show, say, one of each floor and the solution to it, and then cut everything else save for the bosses. Or I show it this way and we actually kind of see some kind of progression. I think this makes sense in this case just because I think it would be difficult to set up all of those ones, as I've said. But anyway. Come on, Tentacles! No, I don't want to fight you. Where's Tentacles? I'm not sure what type he is. I don't think he's even on my... Like, I'm using the wiki in order because they show the amount of enemies you need to... fight of each type. Be one of these types. Run away from you. No, he's not that type. I was hoping because that one only had 4 that I needed to kill. Alright, so 39. I have to farm them here because beyond here is floor 40, and we don't want to get there until we've got this guy set up. Otherwise, I don't think you can go back. You might be able to go back a simple floor. I'm not 100% sure how that works. But if I was not oversouling enemies, oops, bumping the mic. If I was not oversouling enemies, we would have come here and we just would have fought all of the enemies on the way up. And we would have gained all the AP we need and all the levels we would have needed by the time we got to the top. I think I'm in my 70s, so that's probably good enough for all that I need to do. I'm hoping that I'm able to take down most of the remaining super bosses with the levels that I have. But if not, then we'll have to maybe do some level grinding. I will try as best I can to provide some amount of challenge for the super bosses, since they are quite difficult, especially if you're not properly prepared for them. Anyway, let's wait till I find Tentacles Oversoul here. And there we go. He finally oversold for me. It took longer than it probably should have, but oh well. No biggie. We don't need any more encounters there. There is one other thing as I was going over my notes while I was trying to find that guy off screen there. I wanted to talk about one other thing. We'll just go back to the level. You can exit on any floor and it will remember which floor you were on. For the most part, unless you need to save, there's no real reason to exit, especially on the early floors. On the later floors, you'll probably want to leave like every 5 floors or something like that to save. But yeah, there was somebody who had recommended a strategy for taking down the Elder Drakes that I had forgotten to go over until I was editing some episodes there, and I was like, oh, I forgot to go over that crap. So yeah, the Elder Drakes. Primarily what they use, I'm not sure if it's the same if they Oversoul, but primarily what they use are physical attacks. So there is a good strategy for taking them down, and I was actually not aware of this one, so thank you for pointing this out. But the Berserker Jet Sphere, you learn counterattack, magic counter, evade and counter. Evade and counter, as far as I know, is the only 100% probable evade ability in the entire game if it's an evadable attack. So it's not going to work on magic or anything like that, but basically you'll evade all of his attacks and he won't be able to hit you. However, 180, some 200 and something, and then 400 ability points in order to learn it. It's a good idea. Berserkers tend to be kind of squishy, so I'm not a big fan of them. They're just not high on the defense, and you really do want defense going forward. This is a pretty much guaranteed strategy on the Elder Drake, and it's also really good for the Toneberry there. The Toneberry, the Mega Toneberry does have some attacks that will bypass that, but if you're, say, prepared with Auto Life or something like that, all of his normal attacks will be evaded, and that's really, really good. However, in my opinion, it just takes way too much AP to get for so few instances. So I have some other ways of taking care of Elder Drakes and Mega Toneberries. Most of them rely on abusing the crap out of Adamantite, but even if you don't have Adamantite, I will demonstrate ways of getting through it without it. So yeah, anyway, this is the setup I have for now. Doesn't really matter, just something to put on so I'm fast and so that I can deal good damage. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this one. Next time, we'll be set up for the next boss on the 40th floor, and I think I'm going to show a couple different strategies for this guy, because he's kind of unique. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.